Well, hey everyone, this is Betsy with Advisor Verified, here to put an advisor spotlight on none other than Kishan Monteith. When I came into the industry, his name was everywhere. So, Kishan, I feel so honored to be able to interview you today. So, before we dive in, please go ahead and introduce yourself and, kind of where you are and all that good stuff.
Yeah, well, thank you, Betsy. Appreciate it. Kishan Monteith. I am out of Iowa City, Iowa. Originally a Las Vegas native, born and raised there. It's been interesting. I, originally was in the culinary field, hospitality back in Vegas, and then ended up transitioning out in North Carolina, Asheville. Lived there for about 8 years.
Okay, wow, I never knew that. See, I love these because I feel like I learned so much about everybody. This is awesome. Well, Kishan, tell us. So I guess that was really the first question. Actually, was share about your background before getting into insurance. So it was more hospitality and that industry.
Yeah,
very interesting. All right, and so what led you then to get into insurance?
Well, so I was working in really, there's kind of country clubs have a little bit of a circuit that people will travel because if you're working in, say, a seasonal area where a lot of members would end up coming for second homes, well, then you would go to another place that's maybe it's like the shifting of populations where it's like winter season, summer season. And for me, that was new. And I was not going to, my life was not going to be at the whim of whatever season and having to travel. So I had a friend that was working in insurance, and he had told me about it. He's like, yeah, people are asking for help. They send in requests. And then I'm like, okay, sounds good. So then what do? You just help them set up whatever program that they want. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And then, so when can I start? Right. So it was just more of where for me in the service industry, people come and ask for what they want, and I deliver a service, right? I deliver a product. And even though I was working in the back of the house in restaurant terms in the kitchen, I was familiar with really the customer experience to be able to help deliver a good experience. And so that did require understanding what's important to your client. And it was an easy transition for me.
Wow, I've never thought about it that way. That is a really awesome comparison there. So very cool. So that brought you in. Now, how long have you been in insurance?
So it'll be 20 years this November.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That is awesome. Oh my goodness. That is very cool. So you've had a long, I feel like a baby. I'm like a little toddler compared to that. Very cool. All right. So I'm sure you've got lots of stories that you can share. So these next questions might be hard just choosing one, right? Or just a few. But so share with us then, what are some maybe significant moments for you as an agent, like a death claim or a family that was kind of stands out to you in your career of being able to help as an agent?
That's actually easy because it's kind of like, it's one of those things, like, especially if you think about, so I'll give you a long, like one that was from a long time ago and the one that's recent.
Okay.
And
awesome.
The reason it's easy for me to come up with the one that's from a long time ago is because it was the first death claim that I ever had.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And, it stands out because it's one of these moments that it's like a full circle moment. The time that you spend with clients does matter. Like for me personally, and I'm sure just like for you, this is true. Yeah. Like the people that I sit with, I care about. Like it is an emotional labor that you go through to be able to you realize that the goals and aspirations that they have for their family, they want to see to it that those don't die if they do.
That's a great way to put it. I love that.
Well, it's the biggest truth because that is one of their worries. They say, well, what if? And when you are actually able to help follow through, to help
Mm-hmm.
carry out their wishes, to help see to it that the things that, the dreams and aspirations that they wanted their family to experience, that you actually are delivering through it. And so
Wow.
that was where there was an older couple in North
Okay.
Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this, they, the reason it stood out is because this gentleman was in his mid 70s, and you can't tell how tall I am on Zoom,
But
but
you are very tall.
but I well, I mean, I'm 6'2". All right, so
Okay.
and I was looking up to him.
Oh,
On my
really?
first appointment, I'm like, "Oh, hello, sir," and I'm like, and it's my first appointment. He's in
Oh
his
my goodness.
70s, so he's a little bit more crusty in this, in his personality, and I'm like,
Okay.
giving me a little bit of like kind of like a guarded
Mm-hmm.
approach. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, where can we sit? And especially back at that time, it was the kitchen table days.
Of course.
Now
Yes.
we're in a
Mm-hmm.
virtual era that,
Right.
I can meet with someone across the US, and I can be in in our office here.
Right.
And the, I direct him to the table, and he's like, we're not sitting at the table. We're sitting at my couch where I'm comfortable. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. Do I have something I can write on? And I'm kind of like a little bit of a chipmunk, kind of like, yeah, no problem, sir.
It's great. It's great.
Um,
Sure. Sure.
well, long story short, it ends up when I'm leaving,
Mm-hmm.
he said, the reason I like you is because you're wearing that leather coat. And I had this like leather coat that it was kind of a preppy leather coat. And it's like, I was like, okay, oh, that's great. Yeah, I like this quote. Well, thanks, sir. It was 6 months later that I got a call from his wife, and
Mm.
she had told me that he had a major heart attack, and this is the hills of North Carolina. So he ended up having a heart attack while driving, and he drove off the road.
Oh.
Very tragic. Like
Oh.
my I like had this lump in my throat. I just like, I don't know, like whatever I can do for you. I didn't have an answer at that time, but what I knew is that there was something in place for them.
Mm. Wow.
And I had the opportunity of delivering her death benefit check to her, and the kind of like the look on her face was just, it was a shift. It was like the fear, concern just melted away. And where it was like, just to appreciate that it's like that I did like, and I was carrying it like it was like, I don't know, when I got it, it was like, oh, I was nervous, and I'm like, I just want to get it to her.
Right.
And it was exciting. Um, I appreciated there was a sense of fulfillment, but
Mm.
it's a bittersweet because we don't want them to have to use their coverage.
Oh my gosh.
But if they have to, we want them to have it, right?
Oh,
And
love that.
I feel like when it comes down to it, where it's like, I don't want you to use it, but what it brings me satisfaction is that like it brings belief into an agent. I hope that they have that at some point.
Mm.
As morbid as that sounds, I hope that they have that at some point, because it gives them, it like infuses belief into them as an agent that what you do matters.
Mm.
So for me, it's just like, it's kind of like that. It's a bittersweet, but it will help build your career to where you're going to actually speak with confidence, and you actually care about who you're sitting in front of.
Oh my goodness. I bet just that. I mean, I don't even know what she looks like, but I could just imagine the look on her face. I bet you see that over and
Yeah,
over. Like
no,
how it,
I see
that
it over and
I
over.
bet it can never leave. Like just the knowledge of
Yeah.
I've got something. Like it's not done. It's not over. Like it's like wow. And then oh, I've got goosebumps just thinking about that. That's
Well,
awesome. Like
it gave her the ability to also deal with the emotions too. You think about
oh
the
my word.
emotional baggage is heavy enough to carry along with financial baggage. like let them deal with the emotional baggage on its own, and we can carry the load of the financial baggage.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that's a great, it's like you're going to have that baggage when someone passes away. But if we can, like, oh, I love how you said, well, let us carry that financial load so that you can handle the grief. That's a
yeah,
great way to put it. I like that. So, wow, that came when you first were an agent. That no wonder you've been here for
I
so
would
long.
say it was probably in the first like 3-4 months. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, wow. So that's like, that just has kick-started everything. Like, what a belief. What a way to build that
Yeah.
belief immediately. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. And you said you had another one as well.
Well, and most recently, matter of fact, I am meeting tomorrow with the family for a final appointment on. So, the programs that we work with also help people use insurance programs in a way that actually helps them leverage paying off debt. It helps them to leverage building wealth. And one of the things that is, it's already tough enough dealing with life and like what you're trying to accomplish. And when it ends up that you have a financial burden of debt,
Mm.
absorbing all your energy, your emotional resources, maybe causing a strain on the relationship. There is this couple that's out of Nevada. They
Okay.
so again, I love the virtual era, but out of Las Vegas, my hometown.
Oh, wow. So there's a connection right there.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it was nice, but actually a little connection for you. They're
Okay.
originally from Hawaii.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow. That is crazy.
yeah,
All
so,
over yeah. There's a lot of
yeah.
people from Hawaii that go to Las Vegas. I think it's interesting. Like,
Vegas is actually. Did you know this? It's actually called the Ninth Island.
I did not know that, but I I see why, because we have so many people that go there. That's so
Right.
funny.
But so they've got 1.1 million in debt.
Mm. Oh, wow.
And now they have got a decent income.
Mm-hmm.
They've got an income that is helping them service all the debt. They still have a little bit left over at the end of the month.
Okay.
They're still setting aside for 401k, even overfunding it. What we were able to do is we were able to identify lazy dollars and to be
Okay.
able to get them performing better rather
Mm.
than just sitting on the sidelines.
Okay.
And we were able to go from them paying off all this $1.1 million in debt in 28.7 years. It actually brought it down to 7 years and 10 months with the program that we're setting up. They're
That is
so
amazing.
excited. And so
That is
tomorrow,
amazing.
yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like you get to celebrate with people during these times where there's actually it's truly like satisfying to
Oh,
be able to help them celebrate the kind of release that it creates for them. So it's
oh my word. That is amazing. Like, I get so excited that, like, just like, let's go ahead and get it done. It's hard to wait for those appointments. Wow.
right.
That is phenomenal. Oh my goodness. Wow. So you've had those are some pretty significant experiences. I love that, Kishan. So um yeah, this might be, again, I know might be hard to narrow it down, but what are some, share with us and people listening, what are some challenges or some victories that you've experienced as an insurance agent?
So I feel like there was two questions there. So you're
Okay,
saying
so
challenges
yeah, so like what
or victories?
challenges, yeah, challenges, and then also some victories that you've experienced in your career.
Okay. So the wins and losses, maybe. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there you
So
go.
like the highs and lows.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Um, so I mean the wins that I've been able to experience, I feel like are most nested in and spoken to about like in the people that we've been able to help coach and
Mm,
to pass on a skill set and pass
yeah.
on like an asset of abilities. So
Mm,
that's like for me, that's a win that I feel is valuable.
oh,
Um,
yeah.
because the thing is that like I can only see so many clients in a day. I mean, even if I had back to back every day of the week
Yeah.
for the entire month, there will be a cap at some point.
For sure.
Yet, if I want to be able to add value into the marketplace, the way that I can best do that is not overload myself and eventually burn out, but rather teach someone else how to go out and create value in the marketplace. And then at that point, what I've done is I've been able to duplicate what I've learned over the last, at this point, 20 years. But I'd be able to just help shortcut their experience to be able to go earn a good living, but also be able to make tremendous value in the market.
Oh, I love that. That's the dream. I mean, that's what we all hope to be able to do and accomplish as agents. So I love that. Yeah. What are some challenges that you've faced or had to overcome in your career?
Challenges is the human mind is an infinite complexity. And so
Truer words have never been spoken, Kishan.
We don't always think the right thoughts that are empowering. We don't always say the right things to ourselves. Sometimes we're the most unhelpful voice, and we listen to it every day when you wake up and before you go to sleep. And so I will say the challenges that you have is keeping your head in the right space so that you're able to serve others better. And so whatever kind of life challenges you have, so that, like, if we think about that, so like I may not always be in the right place, but then also others around you may not always be in the right place. And so it's being able to kind of cut through the noise, which that is probably the most challenging thing.
Yeah.
Is being able to be kind of that lighthouse, that you're in a fixed point to where you can actually help avert others from, kind of crashing or washing ashore, where it's like, they don't shipwreck in their own business, or even your clients, that they don't make the wrong choices. But here's the thing, you can't control what others do.
And isn't that awful?
Yeah, I know. So it's the one thing that hits, like, I will say it's not a loss, because we were talking about it earlier. It's more of the challenge. Like, what does it require of us? It requires of us, keeping consistent about monitoring our mindset, staying on top of self-development. And I'll say that, like, for losses or challenges, I mean, I'll just say that I've had my fair share of disappointments, outcomes that didn't go the way that I wanted to.
Right.
But I will say this, that, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's Pollyanna-ish, but I feel like it has helped me become the person I am today. And hopefully it's helped me become better, to be able to either be of service to someone else that maybe experiences it, to be able to speak to them.
Yeah.
But also for me to be wiser, the next time I encounter something similar.
Yeah, those are good words. Good words there. Well, this has been full of wisdom, Kishan. I love this. This has just been a treasure trove here. So, kind of wrap it up here. I'd love to hear, what is your vision for your future? I know you've had 20 years, but what do you see for the next 20 for yourself here in the insurance industry?
What do I see? I think what I see for us is, just, I think it's more alignment, personally, professionally. Continuing to live out what my values and principles are through actions. And so what that really means is that, I feel like we've got people that are joining us that do match that.
Yeah.
But it's just where we're able to continually empower agents to, help the marketplace to be able to create value. That's going to require them not seeking their value first, right?
Yeah.
And so it does, for me, what I'm looking forward to is just like us, one by one, helping people to add value in the marketplace. So that's, for my wife and I, we have personal pursuits that, I hope to continue us expanding and be able to have a business, that is also able to facilitate that, personal life of adding value.
I love that.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, Kishan, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing so much wisdom. I know this is going to be able to just add so much value to anyone who hears this. So we appreciate you. Congratulations on all that you've achieved. And again, we just appreciate you and everyone. Kishan Monteith.
All right. Thanks. Glad to be on.
Hey there. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Advisor Spotlight. Here at Advisor Verified, we love spotlighting agents all across America as they share their passion for why they love doing what they get to do, protecting you and your family. So be sure to go to advisorverified.com and search for an advisor in your state that you connect with and that you know is licensed, insured, verified.